Hello. Sorry. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are BFL team from Vietnam, and so let's get started. I'm sure that you can guess what I'm currently holding right here. This is a brick, just a usual brick that we normally use to build the house. But in my country, given the fact that there's urgent demands of about 15% of populations in urgent demands of housing, and to produce the amount of brick to satisfy the demand, we would have to acquire about 3,000 hectares of farmland and consume 5.6 million tons of coal. And that unfortunately released to the environment about 17 million tons of carbon dioxide, equal to 8% of total carbon dioxide produced by all Vietnam industrial activity in 2011. So, are there any solutions? BFL team, we start up Hong Giang Joint Stock Company to provide a product called adobe. This is it. This is going to address the environmental issue by maximizing the housing benefit demand while minimizing any environmental consequences. Sorry about that. Actually, our Hong Giang project has been our main venture of investment from early June 2012, and from that until now, we have been focusing on verifying the product's patents as well as its features, also its environmental impact. And from now, we're also carrying out the market research to identify the opportunity as well as the target customer we aim at. That will give you an overview of what we have done so far. Let's move on with the production process to see what that makes our product outstanding and has as much social effect. Look at the input material. This is actually the waste in agriculture and industry and forestry production process, such as you can see rice straw, husk and sand, and the construction material cement. This is an enormous resource. It's the estimate that in Vietnam annually 55 million tons of this waste were burned as a traditional way to eliminate them. But by utilizing them in producing the adobe, we are going to reduce 40% of the carbon dioxide amount and save the input costs. And from these charts, you can see that it describes the entire process from the very beginning of the production process until our final product is made. And following that process, the products provide great technical features that the normal brick hardly compare, such as waterproof, sound and thermal isolations, impact and corrosion resistant. These features have already been tested and verified by Vietnam Institute for Building Materials, and that make our products the most suitable building materials in hot and complex climate conditions, such as in Vietnam and other Southeast Asian countries as well. And in order to protect our product from other competitors, we have been working on the process to registering the patents. And in 2011, the documents had already approved by Vietnam Intellectual Property Department. And we are expecting the grant of patents by next month, actually. And let's move on with Ms. Yen, who will explain to you about how we address the target customer and as well as the market opportunity for our product.
Okay, thank you. Now let's see how big the market we are going to have out there. Actually, as you can see from the screen, we can approach a huge variety of customers in different areas. However, in the very first stage of the development, we focus mainly on the low income with the market size of 1.1 million. Given we assume that for people making up to one household living in a 30 square meters house, and with the price of $65 per square meter, we are looking at a huge market of 530 million US dollars in Vietnam and in the poor section only. And more persuasively, the Vietnamese government policy regarding to housing construction are on our favors now. The government circular number 9 issued in November 2012 says that all housing construction projects in Vietnam must use unbaked and green construction material, and this is mandatory enforced. Referring to the rivals, when entering the market, we have three main ones who has the advantage in long existence and producing various products. However, as this company focus mainly on the big corporations and big construction, it is a big benefit for us to approach the low-income section. And to capture the market, we are going to use some basic marketing tools. And the highlight of it is we are going to take the advantage of the model of agricultural cooperatives in Vietnam. This model is like, it involves the low-income people in sharing activities in agriculture specifically, but in business in general, and through selling. And also these cooperatives have the social housing projects, and by selling the product to them, we are going to help in giving a hand to build houses and shelters to the poor. So also at the same time, we would like to apply the installment payment, and would like to propose Vietnam Bank for Social Policy as a partner. That's how we can approach and conquer the market. Now next, referring to the social impact assessment, the theory of change in terms of economic and environmental is telling this way. If currently we are having low-income people unable to afford a house, polluted environment, and agricultural and industrial solid waste are dumped to the environment. Now, by using and in producing ultralight drop, we are going to have houses for the poor, reducing carbon dioxide emission and more value to the waste. Okay, this table indicates the index that assess the the economic impact. You can see we based on the additional income created and expense of building saved. In fact, it can save from 20 to 30% of the expense compared to building by normal bricks. And about the additional income, normally a non-skillful workers working in Vietnam is paid $600 a year. Working with us, they will be paid $1,000, and this is an increase of 67%. And referring to the environmental index, we include the waste treatment cost saved, the reducing amount of coal and clay not used for producing bricks, and also the carbon dioxide emission. And in fact, if ordinary coal-fired bricks are replaced by the ultralight dop, we are going to save 40% of the carbon dioxide emission and save million tons of non-renewable clay. So if we monetize the amount in the upcoming 5 years, we are going to have the social return on investment will be $2.45 for each dollar invested in the business. It's not really small one. So how about the financial plan? Let's come back with.
And yes, certainly to make our business plan completed, we have projected financial plan with focus on the capital budgeting as well as the performance assessment. So to capable of generating about $500,000 sales in first year operations, the business will require $1 million as a startup capitals, and of which 15% you see is established level by long-term loans. The growth schedule is actually estimated as a market share we're capable of generating every year. And from in the first 3 year operation, the average rate is about 40%, and that reflects the markets as well as the government support on our initial phase. And from 2016, this growth rate will inflate gradually until 2020. Also, by that time, we make the initial public offering at the estimated market value of $2.5 million. More importantly, the performance analysis suggests that our return on equity outperformed the industry benchmark, and the cash conversion cycle as well also lower compared to the other peer company. The net present value is about $250,000, and the IRR, internal rate of return, about 30%. And that also are very profitable as well as very attractive.
So now let's wrap up the key factors that make our business successful.
innovative product,
huge market opportunity,
breaking marketing strategy,
visible financial plan,
and more importantly, the human factor with competent dynamic team of management. We believe in our success to make better future for living. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me remind those who haven't, teams who haven't presented yet, please leave the room. And the judges, please.
Thank you for your presentation. I noticed in your business plan and also in your presentation that you have several customers, individuals, and construction companies. How do you plan to go about that? Because it's both retail and wholesale, right?
Actually, when we write in the full business plan, we also include the long-term, but at the moment, in the very first stage of our development, we focus mainly on the low-income customer because this is kind of very huge market size, and also because when we start the business, we have actually, although the technology be advanced, but the brand is not very popular, so it is very difficult to right away directly to go directly to the big corporation. So when we approach the low-income segment, we can gradually increase the appearance of our products in the market, and then after a few years, we can, based on the quality that we have proved by building the real houses, to prove to the big corporation that is quality product.
Just to follow up on that, what is your method of distribution to the low-income communities that you're starting with?
Well, as I've mentioned in my presentation, we are going to apply the agricultural cooperatives. It is a local authority, a very popular model of local authority in Vietnam that connects between the government, that is kind of subsidized between the government and the low income, not really low income, but the people in the local in general. But these are the direct one who work with the low income customers.
I have a question about the government directive that, if I understand it correctly, compels people to use green components. Is that correct?
Actually, our input material are the waste in agriculture and industry, and as well as the forestry process. Like I said, it's like rice straw and husk. This is quite like normal in the material used in local, not in local, but in remote area and rural area in country like Vietnam and other Southeast Asia country. So if you think it's like a green construction material, then it can be, because easily they burn this material to eliminate them, but that emits the carbon dioxide amount. But in our process, we utilize this waste, and that will not only just help the local people the way to eliminate this waste, but also make the input for our product, and that's it, like the win-win between the two, the manufacturer as well as the local.
I think that wasn't exactly where I was going with my question. The directive that you mentioned earlier, how can you use that to improve uptake of your materials?
I'm sorry, can you explain the question in...
You mentioned a directive, a government directive earlier in your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes. You mean the government, I mean, you mean the... okay. Are you talking about the circular...
Yes,
that's
right. That's
yes.
Right. How can you use that to improve uptake of your materials?
Actually, the government supposed to state that the green construction materials is mandatory in force when building the construction material, when building the construction projects. So as the government classify our product as the green constructions, we believe that these products satisfy the government criteria to use in products in construction project. And about the improving the, if I understand correctly, what you mean is improve the product to upgrade it to the criteria of green construction materials. Is that right?
No, it goes back to the same point that we made to about G-Rock. that the construction industry is a very conservative industry. So getting them to use an alternative product.
We agree with that point. As you all may know, the construction industry is quite different compared to other industry like consumer staple, because it's exposed greatly to another factors, to the market factor as well. But what we are trying to say is that our products is supported by the trends that Vietnamese government promoting, because we set the aim to become the industrializations as well as the urbanization country, to become the developed country by 2020. And to achieve that goal, not only the construction project has to meet these criteria, but also the low-income people, which our targets, have to improve the living conditions to achieve that goal. So that's why we believe that there's market for our product, also the green construction material. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to build on that point. So if the government is requiring everybody, mandatory, to use green building materials like yours,
yes.
My question is, you're not actually competing against bricks anymore. You're competing against whatever the market offers for this mandatory requirement. So what are these other offerings that the big companies are going to come out with, and how do you compare against those things?
Yes. As you may know, the factual fact in our country generally, and other Southeast Asian country as well, normally we use the baked bricks as the main material constructions, but the government support that, so the government now promotes the green construction material, so they have to focus on the construction material. But what they don't have is the production process to produce. Not the production process, but the because the production process of them requires the cost of importing the machinery to produce, so the cost is actually higher than our cost, and also they don't have the access to the local low-income customer, because what they aim is at the average and high-income customer who will continuously to use baked brick to satisfy their housing demand.
So you guys have $500,000 in the first year of revenue, and what does that mean in terms of number of houses, roughly? And do you have any kind of a pipeline or an agreement about that level of sales yet in place?
Yes. Our financial data assumptions is actually based on the market share we have been conducted that we are capable of acquiring. The actual number is about 10,000 cubic meters of brick, not brick, sorry, the UCHALA adopt. So we verify that about the social house that we have to provide to cover that brick, to that kind of brick, is about 3,000 houses.
3,000 houses. And do you have any connections yet for making those sales, or is that still work you have to do?
Yes, we have been, like we said, we have been contacting with the Hanam province. This is where we start. Cooperatives at Mr. Hien explained about how the model works out, and also we have suggested and we have been contacting with the Vietnam Social Policy Bank, and they suggest the government project is about until 2020. The project makes clear that about 30,000 social houses has to be built, and from now until 2020. The phase 1 is about 2 years, and so it are not specified at the Hanam province is where we start, but at the 3 regions, including the Hanam province, it's about 6,000 houses, and that's what we make our estimate based on, and that's only for the low-income people. That's only the social project for low-income people.
Okay, thank you.
I want to ask a little bit more about some of the technical specifications and the intellectual property that you have.
Yes.
Specifically, you mentioned in your plan, obviously if you use the sand and the agricultural waste, etc., it's not going to be sealed or waterproof. I assume that comes from the ingredient called flotation frothier.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Without giving away anything that you shouldn't say, could you describe kind of what types of ingredients go into that? And is it your company that owns the patent for all of this, or are you licensing it from someone else?
No, we actually registering the patent because we have the partner. That's one of our scientists. Actually, the products we have been promoting our products to his scientists. And for the ingredients, you said the components. Actually, you mentioned right. But with the input material, we have specific formulas, and the floating frontier is one of the special formula that we make. It's specific that produced by us. And that's what makes our products different compared to the others. And the patents, we have been registering it, and the document has already approved, and we're expecting actually about 10th April, next month, we will be granted the patent.
Is that also made from natural materials, or is that from more chemical sources?
I'm sorry?
The frothier, is that from natural materials or chemical sources?
Yes, it's quite a mixing between the two. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.